Like,
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. It is my great pleasure uh, welcoming all of you, and I am really grateful for all of you for joining this particular event. As the event title says, we are going to have a brainstorming session on Mera Yuva Bharat. This is the initiative from Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, Government of India. On behalf of organizing partners, Indian National Young Academy of Science, IIT Delhi, in collaboration with INYAS, and of course Ministry of Affairs and Sports, I welcome all of to this particular brainstorming session. And now I'm going to give you a brief overview what is this initiative and what we are looking for through this brainstorming session. So I hope you will be able to see my slides. Also, there are two screens on this side. So this Mera Yuva Bharat, short, it's My Bharat. This is, as I said, initiative of Government of India to Ministry of Affairs. And I must start thanking Secretary, Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, Ms. Meeta Rajilotan, for us this opportunity and platform discuss this very important topic in initiative of Government of India. And this is a great opportunity for all of us to discuss and give recommendations and contribute to this particular initiative. That's particularly sort the aim of this particular brainstorming session. And our main aim to this is, as I have mentioned here, is empowering youth for a brighter India. And that's the goal for this particular initiative and to Ministry of Youth Affairs. And these slides which I am going to show you, next 10 or 15 slides, mostly the content is from their website. I have mentioned here, mybharat.org. Of course, I think I have already shared this with all of you. Otherwise, of course, see even more details about this particular initiative on this website. This particular initiative is going to launch on 31st of this month. So that means just 2 days from now. And what we are expecting for what Ministry of Youth Affairs is expecting from us through this brainstorming session is to give ideas, give recommendations, how to improve this or what options or what are the facilities or what are the platforms should be available. So the outline what I am going to briefly discuss here that what is this Mera Bharat, then why do we need this, and what are the features available or supposed to be available on this platform My Bharat, and what do we want to achieve. This I have tried, I have skipped this, but then the more important thing is that to achieve these goals, what are the challenges and how to overcome these challenges. And then towards the end, I will discuss. So you see, in Mera Yuva Bharat, it's the proposed name for an autonomous body that is being set up by government of India to set. And the aim is, of course, for providing an overarching institutional mechanism powered by technology for youth development and youth lead development. And that is why when I was discussing with Secretary Affairs, she suggested to have the participants who are like young entrepreneurs, young people who are having startups and young scientists, and of course some young students. So we are at the level to give recommendations to contribute to this. And this mechanism, of course, would provide equitable access to opportunities for youth for their there and Amrit Bharat 547, that is, the goal of government. This, as I said, what this Yuva Bharat is an initiative of Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, and as I already said, aim is to empower the youth of India by encouraging mobility, removing educational disparities, and enabling them for practical skills. And that's where the entrepreneurs, the startups, the ideas from all of us are important. So the idea is to promote an inclusive and equitable society. This platform aims at uplifting the youth participation by serving as a platform where they can socially engage with one another, expand their learning curve, share ideas, and of course then become self-reliant citizen. And once we are self-reliant citizen, that means we can make self-reliant. So, why this platform is required? That's the most important thing. Of course, that comes to our mind, the first question. And briefly, I can tell you, of course, discussing and long way, we have to go for really establish this and benefit of our country. The idea is to prioritize the expression of youth and to boost engagement of youth in national development as per all of time when the demand-based development and to provide everyone the equal opportunity irrespective of their background, their social economic conditions, and their geographical presence. And then, as I said, the goal is to build Amrit Bharat by 2047. Now, what is the mission? Some of the things are, of course, being said here, so don't mind, but few things are important, so I thought of highlighting times. The mission broadly is, to have experimental learning, and that experimental learning, of course, will provide opportunities to understand working in the digital world and prepare the youth for future. And as we always say that our Prime Minister always says, and we all know that India is having, I think, more than 65% youth, right? So we are a young country, and youth is the future of our country, and it is everyone's responsibility, particularly government of India, sort of initiatives, provide equal opportunity. So through this initiative, also the aim is to provide them this platform. Also, the new education policy of India that says that students are required to participate in industry training program as per their interest. And when we say industry, entrepreneurs, startups, their overall or mainly your role comes in. So the experimental learning enables the youth to build skills, gain experience, and explore their career options as per their interest. And these opportunities are offered by various partners from various public sectors, private sectors, academic, and so on. And through this Mera Yuva Bharat, one of the goals is to provide a common platform where all these opportunities are available, where students can register, see everything together, so that it will be easy for you to find the opportunity. So that is what the next slide title says, need for single platform, right? So that will of course help with fast urbanization, and of course as we all know that the boundary between rural and urban, that we try to make as less distinct. This, of course, the youth require similar expression and opportunities to in their dream, and by creating an imperative framework like Mera Yuva Bharat, we will have this common platform for all youth coming from rural, urban. So the features which are there and which we may even suggest to improve or add or delete, that it is a technologically driven platform connect youth in community and activities to their skills. Platform will have individual profiles with respective skill set and activities, and one can also then generate the certificate for their skill set and activities so that those can be for different roles. This platform would also allow you to have networking together and then also to find potential mentors like young entrepreneurs, startup. They can mentor young students, even starting from school, college, so to help them, and that way we will basically provide them a good ecosystem. We also empower young individuals to become a real community transformer, and they then of course would act as UVA, linking the government with citizen, and that's uh, I have briefly said what are the features and what we are looking for through this initiative. But of course, then there are so many challenges. And in next 2.5 hours, what we are going to discuss, of course, I would request everyone to give opinion, suggestion, recommendation in whatever brief time you have. Uh, and I would request now that everyone keep in mind some of these challenges. Of course, we don't have to cover each and every by yourself, but wherever your expertise is or what are the recommendations, considering some of these challenges which we have highlighted here, but of course something new or different may come to your mind and so like what features should be included in this platform for maximum efficiency. Then how can we enhance skill and provide certificates through this platform? How to engage large number of youth through this platform. So these are the few points that we want to discuss and want to have opinion recommendation. How to maintain the database of platform, and then at the same time we have to ensure that the security and privacy of and every that is the most important part. Then again, how to provide the environment for young scientists, entrepreneurs, startups, students. Then what are the steps to follow to engage top institutes of the nation through this platform? And as I said, in the end, we want to connect, provide them opportunity, build a single platform for all the opportunities available for them, connect them, mentor them, and then they will become at some point self-reliant citizen. That's what I say. And then what should be done to encourage the research and entrepreneur this platform? How can we make this platform self-sustainable? And of course, then according to the need, we keep on adding, upgrading the platform as per the need. What can be done to promote this particular initiative, particularly in the rural areas? That is also very important because in urban cities we are very well aware of many things. We are well connected also. We get to know so many opportunities, various platforms, but the challenge is to reach out to the rural area. What can be done to increase connectivity between the government ministries and the working community? Like when I say working community, I, I mean the startups, entrepreneurs, and one large scale. What steps that can be taken to develop dynamic networking system on this platform? Then how can we improve existing and develop new infrastructure for sustainable platform? So, and then what can be done to get the advantages of this portal and its new national policy? How can we scale up the platform for like interest-based projects or hobby-based projects? What steps can be taken to gamification of portal where learning can be done to connect? So to encourage youth, particularly from the school level, we have to make them interest. We cannot impose it on anyone, and particularly these kids are having a very different mindset. So we have to keep that in mind and make it interesting for them and learning at the same time. That's what should be the role and responsibility of authorities or the people hold this platform. And when I say authorities, of course, like everyone can play the role at respective stages and so on. So through this portal, of course, there are various programs, various initiatives, various uh, events that are there in the mind. Few of them are listed here. You can see the leadership development program, the mentorship opportunities, the learning, data analytics. Then the most important is experimental learning. So learning by doing hands-on. Then we have to contribute back to society. So social engagement. Then, as I said, gamification. So we have to make things interesting and learning at the same time for the kids. And then the entire database and entire platform, the security and privacy, that is also very important challenge in the recent time. So these are the few ideas, few things that I wanted to share before we start this brainstorming session. And I will end this particular presentation by thanking Ministry of Youth Affairs for giving us this opportunity to discuss. Right? And of course, I thank IIT Delhi for providing this platform and all the support in National Young Academy Science. Uh, then Tai and Pete, who have contributed and actually kind of a joint apart, bring all of us together for this brainstorming session. And before I we start this brainstorming session or I pass on to the next speaker, I would like to also say that I just said Indian National Young Academy of Science and Ministry of Youth Affairs. So in both, there is one common word for young, right? So I would just like to take few minutes to talk about International Young Academy of Science, which is the initiative from Indian National Science Academy. So let me unshare screens and share the screen I have prepared. So I would not, of course, not discuss in detail, but I would like to just share what is INYAS and what are our mandates and what we are doing. So, Indian National Young Academy of Science was established by our parent academy, as I said, the National Science Academy is having the head office in Delhi, near IGO metro station. And INSA started this Indian National Young Academy of Science in 2015, and this initiative was, aiming towards science promotion and you can see here empowering young scientists. So the Ministry of Youth Affairs and INYAS in that sense have common goal, support young scientists or youth to encourage them and to have contribute for you. As I said, this was established in 2015 with 20 founding members. Those 20 founding members were selected by INSA, but then we are kind of autonomous. We select every year new members, and around the same number, like every year we select 20-25 number, the new members, and around the same number become alumni. So our total strength is around 100 plus. And the structure is like there is one chairperson, then there are 8 core committee members. We are currently 108 current members, and as its name suggests, Indian National Young Academy. So that tells us that this academy should have always the young scientists or young people, youth. So we think that okay, as our INSA president always says that scientists never become old; they are always young. So there is the difference is young and younger. So we are younger. But when we become young, then we keep particular academy. So that membership is only 5 years. Continue this platform for 5 years. But of course, that doesn't mean that we are disconnected. We are always connected. You can see here we have alumni group, alumni members, more than 60 now. And this alumni group will be, increasing time, the number in alumni group. But the current member will be always 100, 101. So our vision is to promote science education and outreach, networking among young scientists across the country, support young scientists in their career development, and to build their independent group, building scientific temperament across the country. Then we collaborate with other young academics across the world, uh, contribute to this direction. There are, of course, many initiatives. As I said, with science outreach for school, college students, remote area lecture, awareness workshops, to promote Indian science journals. Also, we are committed to publish at least good amount of publications in Indian journals. Uh, when we talk about rural area students and community society, there is always, kind of little bit disconnect. Particularly when we talk in a different language, which people in rural area may not feel comfortable. So our activities, many activities are in local languages for better connecting with the society students from those areas. And as I said, we are 100 plus members from all over India. All are young independent researchers from all institutes, including IIT, INYAS, the national labs like CSIR, DRDO, agriculture, medical science, universities, state university, uh, central universities, and in fact we have few industry personnel. So I'm sure all of you are below 40. Uh, you are most welcome to apply to our membership and also contribute to this platform. We are very open to young entrepreneurs, startups, uh, industry personnel. We also have members from science committee, science policy, and so on. And from all over India, as I said, geography. So we conduct many events in local languages, better connect. We of course organize symposium, workshops, then many outreach activities for even PhD students, young independent researchers, to have more collaboration among them. We collaborate with other academics like Sanasi and IAS. Uh, then let me go. Like we also conduct the science policy and decision making, and there are a couple of new programs that we start every time. So in nutshell, what I can say is that these 100 plus young scientists working together, learning from each other, having more collaboration and contribution. So there are few pictures I just wanted to highlight. Some are from last year, some are this year. So we conduct teacher training program for rural area schools. Being students, so this was the event that I did this year. 20, 30 teachers participated. This was actually the event for girls students from Punjab. 30 girls students came here and facilitated by the 2 days event and so on. So then we also focus on a special initiative for women in scientific domain as all know even brainstorming session. We have very few women entrepreneur scientists. So we always try to we can find contribute in that direction to have more events where we can share the success stories of our women scientists or women entrepreneurs uh, with young students to motivate them to come to this platform. In fact, I haven't have that. So many are workshops, even secretary, Madam, then the special parts for the general women in science. Last year, we released one compendium from all our women INYAS members. So they actually we have success stories of all our women INYAS members, and those success stories are motivating for young girl students. And there are so many other events. This is the initiative for PhD students where we give them platform, tell their research, what they are doing in the last 5 years, 15 minutes. society, whether they can communicate, how effective, so on. This is the scientific event supported by USA Office. So we have conducted events. This was also technical support. That's anyway. So there are so many activities I can share with. Like last year's event, former PSA Dr. Chidambaram was our chief guest. And you can see large number of scientists from all over India participated. We of course then publish and work towards open science. So whatever research we are doing is from public funding, and then to publish those results we have to pay. So in those lines also try to contribute. So with this, I have given you brief overview of what they are doing in INYAS, and this is also one of the initiatives to youth of India. So with this, I will stop, and I would now request Dr. Srikant Shastriji to say words. So,
so the third item in the second.
Next. Thank you, Dr. Dhaka. So this room is full of entrepreneurs and scientists. A lot of people sitting here are scientists, and I can see a lot of entrepreneurs there. Now, just by way of introduction, so I've been an entrepreneur twice over. Now I'm a third venture. But a big part of the time I spend is I'm a mentor. I'm also an educator. Now, the benefit I get because of that, because I teach some courses at universities and engineering colleges. So the professors at universities assume कि आपने पढ़ाने के लायक है, ये जरूर होगा, which is why he want these offices. So thank you for the promotion. So I just want to quickly, obviously we have a lot of ideas today about how the My Bharat and what features it should have. We have a lot of brainstorming. So I'm going to focus on two aspects specifically. But before that, just one slide, which is a word on one of the organizations, TI, which is represented in TI, and many of your members here. TI, since 1992, has evolved. It started in Silicon Valley, and now today is a global network across 14 countries, 58 chapters. It's probably the world's largest network of entrepreneurs, a not-for-profit. The whole idea was that people of Indian origin went to US and Silicon Valley first. They said, how can we give back to our home country? And those networks got fostered, but now it's a global network. The good news is that along with Silicon Valley, Delhi NCR is among the top two chapters in the world. So we made this a hub of one. So I've had the privilege of being the previous immediate past president of the Delhi NCR chapter. So today, one of the two areas I'd like to talk about is what this platform, My Yuva Bharat, can do from an entrepreneurship standpoint. So overall, my two ideas, I'd like to talk about it by narrating two short stories. The first story was in 2018 October. I was in Patna for a 2-day startup conclave. Now, that 2-day startup conclave, I was invited as a speaker. So it was a hall full of about 150 people, young entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs who come from all over Bihar, various districts of Bihar. But in that hall, there were 5 young people who were very, very different. They were clearly not from Bihar. In the audience, they were the most attentive, asking the most questions. During coffee break and lunch break, they would catch hold of speakers and get more information. So I was very, very intrigued, obviously, कि वो अलग दिखते हैं ये लोग. तो मैंने उनसे ब्रेक में पूछा आप लोग कहाँ से हो? It turned out that they were from Bhilwara in Rajasthan, and they were here in Patna for a startup conference. I said, why did you take the trouble of taking a 2-night train journey to come all the way to Patna? So the answer was very, very revealing. Right? This was in 2018. They said in our Bhilwara Technical College, many of us want to be entrepreneurs. and but we have no opportunity to learn and network with experts. So when we saw the announcement of the Startup Conclave in Patna, we booked our train ticket and came. That was the first sign to me in 2018 itself that India is changing at the grassroots. It is not entrepreneurship is not limited to Bangalore, Delhi, NCR, Mumbai, Hyderabad, Chennai, Pune. It was percolating down to the grassroots. I went back again in 2022 for one more startup conclave in Patna. And then this time it was even more revealing. The 10 top startups of Bihar were being awarded and recognized by the government, and the top three were called on stage to speak. So two of the top three guys said कि पहले हमारे families में, and these are all from local families in the districts of Bihar, पहले हमारे families में UPSC और BPSC के अलावा कोई बात चलती नहीं. But now our parents are willing to consider entrepreneurship as a professional career option. When young children in Bihar are able to see this, to know that it is. So to that extent, what I'd like to say is that for My Yuva Bharat, the ability to provide opportunities through this platform to youth in small towns and villages across the country, how do we provide them access to mentors, access to content, access to investors, access to technologies? All of that is possible. I'll give you another example of why this is necessary. This was 3 years ago. I was in Aizawl in Mizoram for a startup. It was a startup challenge. Brilliant. The finalists, there were 10 of them presenting. And the locals there are fluent in Mizo language, and only some of them are comfortable in English. But some of the participants, what they did was they came and presented, they spoke in Mizo language. Me and the other panelists don't know Mizo at all. But the slides were in English, and they had a translator who was translating the verbal Mizo language to English language. So you can look at the passion. Normally, our entrepreneurship language is English. Why should it be? We have to provide opportunity for people in their local languages to come out and become entrepreneurs. So, entrepreneurship related features in this platform is going to be very, very important. The second one is over the last 2023, we've all been exposed to the ChatGPT AI-led AI boom. Now, when we see this in 2023, we know we are living in a special moment in history. And my mind goes back to a similar boom that happened in 1994. While internet was invented or about 10 years prior to that, but 1994 was the turning point because Netscape Navigator as a browser first made its appearance and suddenly internet started booming. In 1994, Sundar Pichai was 22 years old. Satya Nadella was 27 years old. They were either in college or they were in their first job, which is the kind of audience we're talking here. They became CEOs of big local tech firms because they rode the internet wave. Today, we have an opportunity for the youth in India to ride the AI wave if we play our cards right. So, my thought is that if we want to create, either we want people to be entrepreneurs or we want them to succeed in their jobs by learning AI, by riding that wave, in which case this platform should enable AI learning, opportunities for AI-related jobs, because the next wave of jobs in India, entrepreneurship in India will all be AI-enabled. So that is the second feature that this platform must enable. So those are broadly my two thoughts. I'm sure in my informal conversations, we heard about sustainability, we heard about health. There are many ideas that will come about how you can leverage this platform. But I wanted to start with these thoughts, entrepreneurship and AI as two areas where the platform can. So with that,
yeah, I think it's very important. Now I would like to request Professor Vivek Kumar, who is National Coordinator of Bharat Alliance, the initiative of Government of India, and he's Professor at IIT, Center of Rural Development.
Thank you, Mr. Dhaka. First of all, I would like to congratulate the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports for this great initiative. And as Professor Dhaka mentioned about the Bharat Abhiyan, because when I was reading this, actually last week someone told me about this initiative. I went to the website. I find, it's very difficult for me to see the difference between the Bharat Abhiyan and the initiative of Ministry of Youth Affairs by Bharat. So I see a lot of opportunities where these two initiatives, one is from Ministry of Education and another is from Ministry of. So there is a possibility of synergy. Let me just introduce about Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, especially everyone listening for people present here. This is an initiative by Ministry of Education started in 2014. The idea was to connect the higher education institution to the society. So many of you must have gone through this new education policy. Talks about society, society connects, and today we are talking about institutional social responsibility. These are gone when we used to talk about corporate social responsibility. Today we are talking about institutional. So the whole idea was that higher education institutions should be connected with the real society areas for learning of the students, for taking up the real challenges, for their project work, for their R&D work, and during this process. So of course, learning has to be practical, and so far what we see, most of our learning is theoretical or lab based. And if you look at the research design, take mostly the problems. The idea was to expose students or say youth to the real world, the real society, to work with the aspiration of the student. And during this process, next idea was to transform the process of rural development, to make it more participatory, to make it more knowledge-based, convergence-based process. Because we all know that one of the lacuna about the development process is top to down, top down approach. Thing is centralized. So far we have around 3,500 institutions in our network, and every institution is supposed to work with minimum 5 villages. So that calculation, somewhere around 17,000 villages are more than 17,000 villages are. So I think when Professor Dhaka was talking about certain challenges, one was how to take this program to the higher education institution. So I think answer is to Unnat Bharat Abhiyan we can take it to higher education institution. So and very interestingly, both the ministries are in the same building. Right? In fact, in earlier times, I mean in 2016, we had one MOU with. So now we can put active. The second was how to reach rural. Another challenge was how to reach rural. Then again, as I mentioned that currently we have a network of 17,000. And when our institutions they go to the villages, the first thing they do is the rapport building. And most of the time, rapport building starts with youth club. So we have a good network with and of course, large number of these actually coming to these colleges. So I can just share one example. Madhya Pradesh we started one initiative with there is a Jal Jeevan Mission. 6-7 schemes are being implemented. So one of the components in Jal Jeevan Mission is to establish water testing lab at block level. So what we suggested, the project director, that instead of starting new lab, let's start using the laboratories existing in higher education institutions. So what happened? The chemistry lab in those institutions, 21 institutions, they agreed for that. They started doing this testing. Now you can see that a qualified teacher who is actually that level chart, who is in charge of the testing. Students or the youth, those who are living in those villages, they are bringing their samples. They are bringing samples from their hand pumps, from their taps, and they are owning these samples and they are doing the experiments. So learning is there, ownership is there, and convergence is there. So there is no new establishment of new lab, no equipment. I mean, the whole process is become. So we have that opportunity. 3,500 institutions, including all IIT, agriculture universities, degree colleges, all kind of. So that is the second thing. Third thing, you also mentioned. So Kasturi also. I mean, I'm just removing this talk about that. Right? So he also mentioned about startup. Again, this is a platform. If we can integrate, I and we can have an integration. Because one of the objective of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan is knowledge sharing. So we are working on two platforms. One platform is going to be a virtual platform called Tech for Seva, Technology for Service. So in 2019, 18, sorry, we had a 2-day, 3-day event. I did Tech for Seva. So that is a special conference where we invite all stakeholders. So normally what happens that scientists they come together, they discuss solutions. But in that workshop or that event, we invited all stakeholders, technology seekers. So those were represented by different field organizations, Panchayati Raj leaders. Then of course researchers who are working on solutions. Third, entrepreneurs, those who will take these solutions to the field. Ultimately, because researchers they cannot take these solutions. And then uh, funders, especially corporate social responsibility, who have that kind of fund. That was a great success. So now we are thinking of this platform where problem seeker and problem solution provider, solution seeker and solution provider, they will come the same place. There will be a kind of repository. There will be interface where because what happens that problem seeker or the people those who are seeking the solution, they do not understand scientific language. They know the problem, but how to present that problem in a scientific statement? It's not easy for them. It's not, and the problem with the researcher is that they do not have time to go to. They only stay in the lab. So that platform is there. So maybe that again kind of so UVA again can pitch in that talking about various solutions providing think of a platform. The same platform can be utilized for especially UVA platform for grassroots innovators or rural entrepreneurs. So one of the problems we have so many incubation units in IITs in different states. But most of these incubation units, I'm sorry to say, what kind of facility they provide? Mostly they are promoting the startups which are IT based. Most of these, even the agricultural startups, they also come up with the IT solution. And most of the facility we provide is office space, internet, communication, those things. We are actually trying to conceptualize a incubation unit for grassroots innovators, for the rural innovators, which can have a small workshop where youth or these young innovators they can come, they can do some experiment, they can make some part on this, they can work in this workshop, or they do some field experiment, take out the product and do some testing. So the actual support to these, you know, innovators or these startups. So that also we are thinking. So I feel there is a big synergy. We can have a detailed discussion on that. I mean, today we have so many other speakers. I cannot speak much on that. I have not prepared any detailed presentation, but that is already available. I mean, already our website is there. But I will request Mr. Dhaga to arrange a meeting where we can have a discussion, detailed discussion on that. So that is all from my side, and I wish that I'm really happy to see. I mean, the ministry is actually giving the responsibility to transform India or Bharat to the youth. They have recognized the potential of youth, and they know that only youth can transform Bharat. So today we are in 23. They have given us a task of 25 years. Fantastic ideas. All of you have got that more than 20 years life, working life, or productive life. All of you are the leaders. I must congratulate once again all of you and Mr. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivekji. I think it was very well said that there are so many things already through Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, and if we connect, collaborate, we can even do much better and reach out to where we want to. Now I would like to invite Professor Chandrasekhar Sharma, who is Dean Research and Development from IIT Hyderabad, and also past chairperson of Indian National Young Academy of Science. So, Chandra, please, can give your
Thanks, Bharat. So, first of all, thank the Ministry of Youth Affairs for coming up with this wonderful idea of Yuva Bharat, and also to organize this brainstorming session, which is Sambhag, because I think by doing this Sambhag, we can come to the Sehmati. So, Sambhag says Sehmati, I think that is the way to forward. So, as my previous speaker also mentioned, and I think you all know that now in the Amrit Kal 2047, which is a target for us many ways, and this is where when we are having the most demographical advantage because the population of is 2047, and people who come from other states. This happens for a country in one of the in several centuries. So this kind of situation is not going to come again for India. I mean, like we have seen the example of Japan, which is now having the old age problems. So India till 2047 will get the maximum population, and this opportunity will never come again in the next few centuries. So I think this is the right time for us to come forward and work together for the development and the self-help. The presentation, what Rajan has mentioned. So I had some inputs. First of all, I think we were discussing about the educational disparities. Of course, one of the major reasons for educational disparities is now the digital divide, and that too, especially after the post-COVID era. When we are talking about the online education, online programs, but the digital divide in the current year, that is one of the major challenges for this education disparities. I hope that this Mera Yuva Bharat platform will work in that direction so that we can minimize this digital divide to reach out to the youth equally from the rural. Second major challenge where we started focusing on the higher education in the vernacular languages. Most of the higher education is limited with the English, and that is again where we are not able to leverage upon the advantage of the schools from the different parts of the country. We have taken several great initiatives in terms of reaching out to the young students through the NPTEL and SWAYAM courses. But again, the medium of the instruction for all these courses is English. I think this is the right time we look forward for this higher education in terms of language instruction as well as our books available in the regional language. So I am sure that Mera Yuva Bharat will provide some direction there. When we talk about the innovation and entrepreneurship, I believe that innovation and entrepreneurship journey should start from the school as a nursery, because that is where we inculcate the basic ideas in our youth. In our present education system, if we see, we believe that this education is mostly for the seeking the jobs in future. But I think if we inculcate this, or we change this mindset that the education what we are getting right from the school is not for the job seeking, but for the job providers, or what we are saying the entrepreneurs, I think that would be the great step in the direction. So innovation and entrepreneurship skills, or the awareness workshop, or the programs at the school level is somewhat necessary in my. Other than that, we also uh, discuss how to reach out. I think we need to come out with the out of the box ideas when we talk about the time, especially today's youth. And I think we all agree that the social media has to play a very very active role here. Uh, so, uh, in terms of, I mean, I'm just taking one example from my own institute. We all know the kind of craze we have towards the reels in the today's youth. So, I have taken an initiative with my institute that can we have the reel competition, which we call research activation expressed by dance. Reel. Research activation expressed by dance. The reel competition we organized for PhD students and told them you prepare the reel based on your research and so that you can communicate your research to the common public. So I think, I mean, this is just one example where we can talk to the youth in their own language, in which they find comfortable rather than imposing our old thoughts on them. Uh, Objectives of my Bharat, which Professor Rajan was mentioning, I think they are quite in line with INYAS. Of course, INYAS is more for the young scientists, but the My Bharat is not just for the scientists, it is much broader. But the objectives like networking, sharing of the ideas, and Yuva Setu, I think they are quite in line with INYAS. We need to place the role models at all the levels, right from the school levels to the college levels to the postdoc and the young scientists, so that we can look our role models as an example and motivational factors for us. Lastly, I would say I think the skill development also we were talking about. It's a time for the skill development in the emerging technologies. For example, be it the telecommunication, be it the quantum technology or semiconductor. You all know the semiconductor government is pushing. We need to come out with the skill development programs in these emerging technologies, and that's where I think the higher education institutes can play an important role. So with all these initial remarks, I would be happy to continue in the discussion further.
Thank you, Chandra. I think you pointed out very important aspects, points, initiatives. We will certainly have the recommendations. Now, I would like to request Dr. Sarita Helawat for her remarks. She is founder of Bot Lab Dynamics. She is very well-known entrepreneur across the country. Everyone knows her from the Saraswati Bhavan to the rural area. So, thank you, Sarita, for being with us. I would request you for your.
Hello, hi everyone, good afternoon. I think I would request, I would like to share one, this
Ma'am, if you can share now.
So I think speakers before me have kind of touched on the issues that need to be resolved, and unfortunately, I'm going to bring another one to the table. So what the challenge that we have seen in our country is that there is for software-based systems. But when it comes to building hardware, we are lacking behind. We have a very poor ecosystem, and as a result, we are not making computers, smartwatch, or a cell phone. We are really not known for any of the hardware based solutions. So we wanted to address that, and starting from IIT Delhi, we been trying to do something about it by building the country. And I just thought I'll just share our journey and some successes that we've been able to achieve. So I thought before I do speak any of it, a short video clip from our lab will kind of give you an idea what exactly we do and how we do. I'll request you to pay attention just for this video clip. Just trying to see if I can add volume. This is a lab. We started in
I think there is one question from the participant. Raghavendra ji, you can unmute yourself.
Okay, so my name is Raghavendra Singh. I'm currently leading the product for my Bharat.gov.in. So I'm one of the people who are building the tech side of the things. So I want to ask how this is a wonderful presentation. How will you use this platform to reach out to these students? How can this platform be of help? How will you take advantage of this? How can this platform be used to disseminate this knowledge and to reach out to all the corners? Like, not just like it can do it, but how do you envision how will it happen? Do you want to do video conference calls? Do you want to use LMS systems, chats? What is your vision for something like this? Well, see, this is just a big sandbox, right? You are the stakeholders. In the end, it's you and the students. So how do you plan to do it? So that students from tier 3, tier 2 cities can also know more about this. So what is a plan for it? Or how do you envision it, since the portal is still not there? How do you envision it?
You would like to
I think making so I because before we pointed out that there are doing school workshops and connecting with different areas, and we ourselves have gone to many parts of the country here to different cities. And what we have seen is that a lot of times students are not even aware of the job opportunities, entrepreneurship opportunities and I would speak very specifically about hardware-based solutions, where the opportunity or the potential is tremendous. India stands at 3 trillion economy, and then we dream of 5 trillion and higher. And I think now a lot of economists believe that without hardware, getting there is going to be a little bit challenging. So I think that's a platform like that where the scientists are connected and the students can be brought on table, can really can bring everybody's attention that this is a very exciting area where people, I mean, young actually entrepreneur students can connect and contribute directly.
I would request
Yeah, digital approach can be used through this platform. So that not, I mean, I understand mechanics, you have to be there in person because it's all doing by hand. But is a physical approach possible?
yeah,
Uh, Okay, so I would like to take this and my comments actually on this. Digitally, we can reach to some part of the country, but if you want to really tap the rural area, so we have to think many approaches. There's out of the box, and we believe actually doing more workshops and creating local ambassador like in district or the tehsil region, and then doing actually more and more workshops and like giving the knowledge to these people that is in the rural, that actually could be a one approach. Digital actually is one thing, but we have to take many like parallel approaches to make it more success.
I request.
Yeah, see, another approach is like we cannot disseminate from one center to all youth in the country. We have to create nodes, and one of the way to that, as I mentioned, I think I forget about that. I mentioned about two platforms. Bharat. One was Techno Seva, another was to create virtual platform for different thematic areas, like for example energy, renewable energy, or for example this can be so where students all across the country, like you talked about tier 2, tier 3 cities, especially from students from there, those institutions, can be connected to the experts, uh, domain experts across the country. So suppose there is a renewable energy subject expert where 20, 25 or 30, 35 experts are there, and they are students across the country from different institutions are connected to. This is one. Second, we need to create nodes in education institute. So suppose on a particular thing, instead of doing virtual training, do the trainers training. So IITs or NITs or like for example the center of Dr. Rawat can do the trainers training, and they will train teachers, and these teachers then disseminate the knowledge to them. This is one.
So I would agree with Dr. Vivek Kumar, but suggest one modification. I agree with him that we need a hybrid model. While digital as a medium allows you to scale, because pure physical will not allow you to scale. But digital is important. But at the last mile, because there is a digital connectivity issue for some people, also there is a language issue for people. Also, people are not very good at self-learning by signing up to an e-tech platform, for example. One idea that Dr. Vivek Kumar suggested is that we use local NITs, IITs, and engineering colleges to become nodes. But I think we can look at an alternative also. Like the banking industry has banking correspondents for the last mile. I think we need to create a network of entrepreneurs at the last mile who see this and financially they can run this as a business. They can run local coaching, local programs, figure out a way that they can earn some money, but they will have to take the centralized content, maybe do some level of certification locally. The language and the last mile needs to be bridged.
So that's what you rightly said. I think INYAS is also already, playing a key role in some of the activities initiatives, particularly in science domain, where we have teachers training program, and through those teachers training program, we connect large number of students. Also, as I already mentioned, we conduct many of our events in local languages to better connect, because it is very important when we conduct such events, then to connect with them, talk freely, exchange ideas, and then understand and connect. So I think in science domain, India is already playing key role, already contributing. We can of course then enhance this or widen this for other areas. So these are the things I think we can put up.
I yes, I'm really looking forward to see that once the portal is launched and it is being developed further bit by like block by block, that something like this, if it's not existing as a functionality, then we would certainly like to include that, so that everything which you're doing, including this, the portal can be used, and if it's not there, then we can enhance it in a manner that you can use it for the last mile connectivity. Thank you. I think you can proceed. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Sarita.
So we started our journey from IIT Delhi with some of the pictures from our earlier days. We were in the incubation center, and IIT was kind enough to let us stay longer than the usual period for harvest time. And initially, we were building technologies called defense, and because of that, we got an opportunity to go to several air and army bases. So this is a picture from Pokhran where we flew 10 drones simultaneously. That was the example of first time in India anybody has made drones on technology. And a short clip of just few 10 seconds. So you'll see this is IIT biotech lawn, and you're seeing 10 drones going simultaneously. They're smart systems, they're talking to space station. And we thought defense would have a application for such a technology. But we realized with time, the defense system to be built by a startup is a little bit challenging, because the kind of requirement they have and the skill you have are kind of not on the same page. But we were not discouraged by that, but we realized swarming is something that you can use not just for defense. This is another example that showed that a part of a swarm drone comes and it hits a tank autonomously. So what we realize is that maybe what we can do is we can work on defense applications and some commercial applications simultaneously. So currently we are actually working on a smaller system which can fit in your pocket, and with a smaller noise signature, and it can be used for situational awareness by soldiers, and it's funded by IDEX program. We are constantly evolving our drone light show drones. What we have done differently than anyone else in the country is we have built the entire hardware stack in-house. These are here examples of three main components like flight controller, GPS, and motor controller. So these are all designed and built by us at IIT Delhi. And in that, IIT Delhi community has hugely supported us. And because of this ability, we were actually quickly able to scale up. And we were the first one in the country to fly 1,000 drones last year. And with that, made India the fourth country in the world to have such capability. And we flew those drones from Rashtrapati Bhavan. This year also, we were fortunate enough to be given a chance, and we flew 3,500 drones, and that made India the second largest country in terms of capability in the world. And because of that, we were given an opportunity to showcase our technology at IPL, national games, and many other venues. So what we have been able to do is get into deep technology. So what is allowed precisely is that we developed our own GPS, which gave us precision of 10 centimeter, and then allowed us to fly drones very close to each other, and as a result we could do such a commercial activity. And now we are miniaturizing our electronic components further, so which can have applications defense and other other areas we are simultaneously exploring. And we actually, it's very difficult to build hardware in India, but at the same time, it's in very exciting opportunity. Somebody could solve this with a huge economic benefit to be made, not just India, but a country level too. Because we are importing a huge amount of electronic components. Actually, it's pretty much at the GDP of 7 countries, the world amount of electronics we import. So that's why we feel, and then, uh, as been said before me, the Indian population is only growing. And I mean, it's going to stabilize very soon, but pretty much at the lifespan of all of us here, India will be the most populated country. So we have a huge problem of population. We need to think of jobs, and hardware is the one industry where job opportunities can be very many. And so with that, I think I would say conclude quickly that this journey was started by three of us, Tanmay and Anuj are ex-IIT Delhi students, and it came together passion of building hardware in India. My reason of building was and I was doing PhD, I realized every instrument that I touched was made outside, and Tanmay's problem was our dependence on defense still today is more than 80%. We do not make any of it. So this is a very small effort that we want to contribute to solving that problem. I know drone is a very small component, but I a small beginning. The journey that we started, we now we have more than 120 engineers on board. So our team is growing, and we are hoping to grow further in large size drones coming years. With that, I say thank you so much. I will be happy to questions.
So, Sarita, my question is that through this platform, through this initiative, My Yuva Bharat, what do you think? How we can improve things? How we can connect? How we can encourage more young youth, and so on. So, through this initiative, you want to give some ideas or some.
Absolutely, I'll be happy to. तो मेरे को पहले लगता था कि जब स्टार्टअप आपका होता है, the biggest challenge is
You can
actually
answer yourself.
I think go ahead.
That's okay. Now, so through this initiative, particularly we are here to brainstorm on for this new initiative of Ministry of Bharat. So through this, how we can contribute, how we can reach out, how we can encourage, how we can have more entrepreneurs like you and so on. Those directions if you can come.
So I used to think, हम लोग early stages में थे कि actually struggled more than 5 years and took a small room, ran out of money, got good money, and we going bankrupt. And so हमें लगता था कि पैसे raise करना is the biggest challenge in running a startup. But once we have raised money already, raised money. But now I feel actually that's not the real challenge. The real challenge of running any startup in India is actually finding a right skill set. So we have lot many people who apply for job, but very few people with skill. And it's an unfortunate truth. In quantity is what it is, but in terms of quality, Indian market is very poor. Indian colleges are also not students coming out of top elite colleges are also very poorly educated in engineering streams. So I think the platform like that, and several of my friends like Professor Thakar, Gitandiki are part of this. And I think one that we can message and through workshop, encourage that in education, doing things by your hand, building things is important once you have a core competence in treat any field that you like. It's actually going to take you long ways. And such platforms are absolutely important because here scientific community is there. Uh, People like Professor Thapa is part of engineering colleges and taking to rural areas. And I think more and more we talk about it, encourage is I think going to bring the solution to it.
So yeah, okay. Thank you, Sarita. Now we have next speaker, Dr. Veda Krishna. She is INYAS member, secretary INYAS, and senior scientist in IARI, ICAR in Pusa. I would request Veda to give your remarks, and then we will open up this for all the participants. And my request would be for everyone to very briefly introduce and in 3 to 4 minutes give your ideas, focusing through this initiative, how we can contribute, how we can, what are the features available there. We talked about what are the challenges, how we can overcome with those challenges. So let's limit our discussion in those lines. We all are aware that you are already a very successful entrepreneur startup you are having. We all are happy, and now we want to contribute through this initiative. So I would request everyone to limit our discussion towards this initiative. And in the beginning, just be very briefly introduce yourself. So I request Veda now. You can maybe use the one text.
Yeah, very good. I'm very excited to hear the interviews that is successful inspiring. And I think actually rather the vision and vision of this particular program that Chandra mentioned that it is from birth to somebody. But I think I would like you to all thank Sankalp because that is the one that made us all together today. And mainly to touch upon some of the points, Mr. Shastri mentioned that it is very difficult to connect the rural and through INYAS and also as I come from agriculture background, so I am an agriculture scientist. So when we go to the rural people, we do Mera Gaon, Mera Gaurav and different programs. It is not the skills that we have, definitely language is a barrier, but the confidence which they equate with the language, I think that is one big barrier. And we know that these days language is not a problem. We have real-time translate systems and software have become G20. There's a big, we have visualized all these things. But I think people are not much aware. Still, they are limited. I think so. This network or this platform should be one such thing to make people aware that what is happening in this country, how we are evolving practically. And I think that should be one main issue. The second thing, aspiration of youth. So again, I come to agriculture because we have seen that not only the urban youth, the rural youth is also taking a step back from agriculture. This is not good. We all know that agriculture is a backbone, and we all need food and nutrition security. So how we can rebrand some careers is not that fancy. I think that is one thing that we have to address because otherwise, because AI and new emerging areas are very fancy, and I think it's not that difficult to attract. But how can we connect rural? Because agriculture is the backbone, but now the new generation is not interested in it. It is mainly because people still think agriculture is that outdated. They think that it is physically dwelling like the old times. But now, like Sarita mentioned, we have high-tech agri systems. I think people should visit the 5G labs that we have at many of our agriculture systems and people should see. And then only they will get to know. And many of the agri startups, I know IIT people are smart enough to take up, but most of the agriculture university, the students are not coming forward for it. So I think we have to rebrand agriculture, and that should be somehow this can make more people on board, not so fancy. These are the two things. And the extension about the certification-based programs, I think that's what I mentioned. So I think there are many platforms that provide certifications, but most of them are not that 100% out of body. So as I mentioned, that skills are still lacking. So let's have a discussion, have a platform, a brainstorming, ask the stakeholders that what really you want, and have a customized program so that once the person feeds that, so they can be absorbed in that. I think that should be then have confidence because we all know youth is so distracted and it's very difficult to get them engaged. So if they don't feel any benefit out of this, I don't think only with the goal and the vision we will get people to support us. So I think our outcome has to be very clear. We are part of it and how we will get it. So I think most of the vision programs are not based on the level of national peace, mainly because of this. And I really wish that Vera Yuva Bharat shall evolve as a national youth movement. For that, I think that kind of clarity is very much important. And another unfortunate point, thing that we come across is we are all dream centered. But when we become more dream centered, we give less importance to the emotional health. But it is very important. And I think this platform should not only be hard skill oriented, it should give importance to behavioral skills, social skills, and all. A 360-degree environment should be provided so that along with the chief, we should also evolve as better human beings. I think that is the key. And otherwise, we have seen a lot of such experiences we are facing many of the higher institutions face. And I think that can be only avoided by these kinds of things that we can come across. Then I think one point I think the gentleman mentioned was how we can take it to government. I think regular monitoring of this body is very. And I think the Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, Professor Vivek mentioned, even though we scientists connect, but the thing is still we are working in silos. Even though we go to rural for agriculture, they go to rural for their technology. And I think there should be some kind of perfect platform for that. Because through one approach can be addressed most of the points. I think that should also be one important aspect of to address platform. So again, I want to say that when we started training, we were in a very geography law, information law time. But now, like everything is on your fingertips, so youth should take this as a platform to evolve themselves, and this is the right opportunity. So grab them fearlessly, shamelessly, and we should move ahead with that. That's like I want to share.
Thank you, Veda. I think you made very different points. One of them, of course, is the collaboration. We can collaborate, like as you said, you are going some aim, we are going with some other aim, and go together and things together and collaborate can have much better impact. The second is, as you also mentioned, and I talked about that there are certificate or other skill development programs or various opportunities. They are there from various sectors, but through this platform, I think if we can have all of them at the same platform, then it will be easy for you to find out the appropriate one for them as per their needs. And that way, I think this platform can play a big role, particularly for and to have the social skill and the connection. I think that very important point that are missing. And through connecting or conducting events in offline mode, I think my opinion always have much better impact than, of course, digital media is equally important, but having one-to-one discussion and communication always much better. So now I would request all the participants. Yes. Yes, Raghavendra ji.
I just wanted to mention that My Bharat platform does have an online certification process where experiential learning programs, this is where it is going to start from. Organizations, employers can post experiential learning programs, and students near to those centers will be able to apply to them. There is an option which is being created, which is about having tasks and other uploads which can be uploaded, like whatever you teach them, and based on those internal assessments you will be able to issue online certifications to these participating students. As per NEP, I think all experiential learning opportunity, depending on the number of hours, which is 120, 240 or 360, depending on how you plan it and how it evolves as per the NEP 2020. Each student who completes a particular experiential learning programs approved by, assessed solely by the organization, he or she will get a certificate, and that certificate will be worth some credits, some UGC credits, which can be added to the end of his completion, which he can or she can display at various places. As for third-party programs, I think I'll be going ahead of myself if I comment anything on it, but certainly when the Honorable Secretary did envision something this big and humongous, something like this was discussed, but I think we will come to it when we'll come to it. We'll cross this bridge when we come to it.
Yeah, thank you, Raghavendra. I think this is important point, but more important than that and critical in my own opinion is that also as Sarika mentioned that many of the youth, young people, they are having these certificates, they are having degree from colleges, but having degree and certificates I think is of course important, but the more important is to have skills, right? So getting certificate, getting degree, and having skill. Uh, so these are the points, right? So discuss and for like uh, having skill is important one, and how to make sure that whoever are having certificates or degrees, they are also having the right skill. That's I think the most important point.
Absolutely. And that's when I say that, a lot of that responsibility goes on to the organization who's
Yes, yes, yeah,
experiencing
that's
the program. Because in the end, you are the stakeholders. The more you give quality, I'm sure you'll influence other people to do so. And
correct.
the portal will follow your best conduct and incorporate them as system-based rules.
That's good. So I request now Professor Mukesh Kumar from IIT, and then everyone just very briefly please produce and then give your recommendation idea for this portal. Thank you.
Thank you. Already given. So I have one more point. So first of all, I would like to thank the Ministry of Youth Sports for creating such a wonderful idea. I have one point and I admire points by that customize the skill. Like suppose I have some requirement or some industry has some requirement. So this platform can start a kind of a customized skill based a certification program. So that will be actually improve the job market and that will be actually. Other thing actually is I would like to mention about the local problem. So when we have in the rural and other regions, so they have their own problems. So if we can like start kind of this idea about the entrepreneur from the local area, and then they can convert their problem to the kind of solution or the market or the money. So that will be really great actually, and that can be solved by using organizing different workshop and again actually emphasize for the offline workshop, like in-person workshop, and that's all from my side. Thank you.
So thank you, Mukesh. Next. Thank you. And we are uh, and, and very difficult year to start up in hardware, especially hardware sector. But now she also feels very home now, and they also uh, there is one step ahead we have taken so far, and so as other young entrepreneurs can take that step by taking part of, and how we can connect our youth to in this segment, in especially rural area or in the farm, by engaging them again with the development and the goal basically whether they want to do or not. I mean, if we give them full confidence of this and by providing right skill and right, they know a lot of things. Only direction is there. There are a lot of things. And same goes with us, but somehow we that time and now the right time shape the theme as this entire theme of our this conference is we have to shape the entire thing so that it should be in the right direction. Next, whatever target we have set, right? So that whole thing is the right shape for next. Yeah, thank you. I think as you mentioned, I also mentioned that hardware having different challenges, and we all agree, and also some of us mentioned that mentoring starting from the school is very important. So through this initiative, can we make some mechanism that all entrepreneurs, or in fact we can have large group. Here we are 25, 30, that here, but we can have large group. Can we offer mentoring program for students? I'm sure there are already probably, but through this common single platform, can we bring all those opportunities to this platform, then advertise this platform, make this available for all, everyone basically, I would say. And then through that, they will apply, then of course there will be whatever selection process, but can we provide them mentoring opportunities? Can we make this commitment at least the people who are in this in the event now, that okay, let's start this at least, and we bring those things to this platform. Is this good idea or
Is
not?
there an age cutoff for people to enroll on this platform?
Those criteria we have to make. We have to make depending on various parameters. So in fact, different programs or different training programs or different startups, or they may need different skills and different age group and so on. So those, of course, program to program basis can be criteria. So it's not a problem. Yeah.
I think I mentioned, so supporting the ideas and innovation, mentoring, supporting, is very critical at the school level. So, I mean, just an example, in IIT Hyderabad, they have a unit program which is called BUILD, BUILD, Building Unique Ideas Leading to Development. And it is build projects, where we buy the projects every 6 months. Even the first semester BTech students can work on any idea she said what she's having. And we provide some funding support, mentorship, space, and even to the extent that if they think that their regular studies are hampering their idea development, give them the semester off, right in the first semester, and we give them 6 credits so that it's not just lost academics. Even if they fail, they even get the 6 credits out of it. So I think something like that at the school level, we promote the innovation.
Yeah, I think these schemes are there in mostly all IITs. Like we also have one before, where we bring students from one student from first year, then one second year, then third year, then fourth year. And this scheme is always going. So fourth year student will pass out, one new student will come in that team, whoever is having this interest, and that way the development will happen continuous. So such schemes are actually there at various platforms, but the idea here is, I think, to have it from the school level, as Sandra mentioned, and to have everything on the same platform so that everyone will get to know, because there is also lack of awareness. What are these opportunities? Where are, how to find, how to apply, and so on. So through this My Yuva Bharat platform, I can try to bring all together and make the mechanism easy in such a way that everyone will get to know things at least to some level, and then contact the appropriate person or the authority to get more details, something like that. Next.
Hi, I am Bharat. I am architect. I'm very young, 40, right? And I work on climate innovation. And also, this has recently taken me to check whatever. And with ways I've been innovating products, and that has led me to participate in events, win a few grants, and now I'm in the direction that would be important. So when we talk of a platform like this, I think for a youth, the most important question is what is the purpose, right? And if you were to raise this out to a general public, right? Okay, come up with problems you want to solve and give skills and solutions to solve these problems. The biggest question is how do you ask the right question? So here I think it's important that the platform device thematics. There are things that these solutions should come up, because that is also mentorship. That you're guiding a student or a youth to devise a solution systematically and not just throw it out somewhere and hope that it. So that's one thing. That's also guiding. Because now let's say you had 10,000 apps, they had one way to. they were not just going in. I think funding also has to be a part of it. Without funding, it's not going to work. You will have to, if you raise a competition, you have to find a way. And before that, you also have to vet this. Because if you have 500 solutions coming to you, and all of them have to be funded, not all of them are going to be right. Not all of them might be ethical either. So do you have a statutory body that is going to vet? Also, right? About knowledge sharing, I think whoever wants to solve today can also learn. It's important to get the mentorship. Yeah, so how does that come with the platform? Finally, when you have all of these coming together and devising solutions, and it's a platform, I think what needs to come up first is the solution and not the person. Because there are going to be very common solutions. मेरे thematic में with waste and the area I'm working with, products are very common and these products are not always different. But the idea is also to imbibe the idea that your solutions don't have to be completely unique. They just have to be authentic, contextual, and then you can work on it. Then the knowledge can be shared and actually worked with. It's not only a competition or impact that stage. So that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think good idea, and I think the mentoring word is coming again. Important. We should start something really at the large scale. Yeah, sir.
Yeah, my name is Praveen, Director of Adati. So we are in the recording. We have first start something on a very simple right. One because we our passion like we started serving 6-7 years now. We went through a lot of ups and downs. We touched bankruptcy, but now we are working on banks. But when we tell the story to others, like what people call us, like we want to enter into this. But when we tell the reality, they are not really accepted. They are feeling that we are discouraging them, we are taking life. So that is where we decided that like we should tell them as a course, as a module, like what are the things they should look into. It's not like a clickbait thing where you say that like okay, you get into the event, you get gold and you make millions. That is what is happening in the market. That is where we decided that to give them a holistic view of what are the factors they should consider before they should enter into the space. Because generally what happens is like when you focus on a training program, it basically tells all the positive aspects and a little bit of the negative aspects, and they come with so much passion, okay, let's get on. Whereas the industry only, like they can tell you like what are the challenges that actually there when they get into it. So that is one aspect that the platform should consider. It should be a very holistic thing. Not so that like they get to know that like what are the factors they should consider. It can be like to be very broad. I know that it's going to run for hours, but then it will give them the perspective like how they should think, how they should approach the particular situation. And the second thing is in e-waste, we know that like there is a lot of research that has to be done because India is still lacking in rare metal extraction of those areas. So that is where we decided that we want to create a course actually where we are not expecting that the students go and do a research and get a Nobel Prize. No. At least a baby step where at least they should be prepared enough to publish a white paper, maybe a scientific paper. At least like that much is what we are expecting out of the course that we are trying to build up. From there, like okay, so then they will take the next step from there. So that is something that the focus should be there. Because research, if you ask me, it's a painful area. Last year there was a biological organized by the Council of Biological Research. There are scientists were there, industry experts were there. But the problem what was there was the body was expecting that this company should fund the R&D project. But the problem is we know that R&D is a 50-50 chance. It will either succeed or it will fail. The student should accept that this thing like whatever they are trying to research, it might be successful or it may not, it may go the other way. But then whatever they have done, that might be helpful for somebody else actually. Because that is how we are also evolved. We did a lot of research, we did a roadblock, we know that okay, this is the problem, then we take a diversion. So that thought process has to come out in such that platform. Otherwise, what will happen is merely telling them like okay, you do this, you do this, you do this. if it doesn't go the way they expect, then they will get discouraged, right? So the course, whatever the course has to be like, it should not be a traditional approach. We should give them from an industry perspective also, from a scientific perspective also, like what exactly has to be. Now, the coming to research, what is going to happen is like, okay, let's say the factory we have in Bhiwadi, Rajasthan, like 90 km here. The office is just across the street. But if it's in Delhi NCR, I can invite them to the factory, I can give them the platform that you come here and you service. But if the student is very far away, somewhere in the south, I can't go and give him a platform like, so everything has to be virtually, right? So that is one area we are still trying to address, like how can we bridge that gap. And the third thing is in terms of career. What is the challenge that we are having? If I launch a course, my business partner was asking, out of passion you are trying to do this, the student will come under the expectation that you will give them a job. But I know for sure I can't give them a job. Why? Because waste or any waste management industry is like not a manufacturing. Our margins are extremely tight. And the kind of people we are expecting, as Sarkar, Sarita said, they don't have the skill set actually. Because we hire two chemicals. Because they are wired for a manufacturing industry. Because they know you add this chemical, and that, and then you get this output. Whereas in e-waste, for R&D, those kind of activities, you have to improvise. You have to adapt. You have to use like think outside the box. Because a lot of things might go wrong in your research. And you need to think like, okay, it went wrong. How you need to address a particular scenario. So that thought process they don't have. Because something goes wrong, they panic. And because they feel that somebody might fire me or somebody might blame on me. So they feel like they feel discouraged. So they are not thinking outside the box. So that is the perspective lacking in the college curriculum, in the education curriculum. So they're merely wired like even okay, for their body, that's how like some of the college. So all those things has to be addressed in this platform. Otherwise, it's going to be a very traditional approach. That is what I. Okay.
So I'm talking by that statement funded student they like the direction for the training from this is internship like someone. So what industry can do in this platform is problem and the student can go to the organization committee or directly the idea for the that problem solution for that. So the in house or virtual also the student can will get the particular skill set that this is facing. The problem is the problem that this is facing. So they will get the solution also and then they can hire that skill set. This is my mission.
Yes.
I think we have a vocabulary point. So we have yeah, because I think Shark Tank was the one thing that made it very popular and what has happened like the reality talks. I think that should be more important. Happen to you are going to go into that. So I think that is a platform. Like people are going to podcasts and it also the direction. Second point is yeah, I think related to the issue about training. So because when we interview students for biotechnology, in the CV there are hundreds of things, but they are not expected even at one single check. So I think there is, I think need to have a change mentality. It's not that 100 things you know, you don't have to jump a wall and that change has to come from school level. I think in anything itself, I think that at every platform, whatever it was, minimum one thing, but we must go. I think that is our focus and that we have since that what is your expectation? I think that change has been otherwise like we are reaching the same.
So I think this platform can provide like this can be an important one in this direction. So one thing what I was thinking that all of us like early entrepreneurs, if we can have like a video, short video, and can then upload on our this platform, uh, those probably will motivate or encourage youngsters, the youth. The second is like as one of you mentioned that the demand or the expectations from entrepreneurs or the industry, if we can put forward on some common platform like my Bharat, then people will come to know and what are the skills required, the really skills required, not the certificate. Those things can be listed out and slowly can be improved and things of course can be added. Those will probably help the youth by going through the single platform like my Bharat to know all these details, and then they will of course then find their own interest and then take the training in that particular area. That way I think through this initiative so I would request if all of us think that this can be good idea, all entrepreneurs, young one of you can give like a short video and we could request the best if possible and upload somewhere on this portal and then make it advertise it. So I'm sure lots of people, the young students will watch and learn, and then of course for each and every uh, point we can give the contact respective contact details. We can approach and we can then provide them mentorship or the training platform and so on. That way, I think we can connect.
I just have a small request. If who is going to develop the content module, like whatever, my request would be, it's personal opinion, it has to be better by me. Why? Because generally, like, third party is developing a course. What we are seeing in base management general is like, they are overhyping the whole industry, like, to do this, to get this, to do that. But reality is very harsh. So that is why it was a better, in addition to that, it's what opinion, like, the challenges, that gives them a harsh reality and people understand it. Then, then they know like what exactly of which direction.
So not only the opinion, this is the platform, and we all are the ones who are going to everything. And I was very happy when Mr. Kultapel said that we want the entrepreneurs, the startup, people are having startup and young ones, and their opinion, everyone's opinion, your opinion, as you rightly said, is important. So it is not that someone is making and then we are just waiting. We have to make. We have to say that no, these things should be in that direction. And you were saying few things. Most of the time, our approach or attitude is like complaining more that this is not there, this is not there. But we are the one who will contribute, right? We are the one you have been through, this stage of struggling and so many challenges and so on. We all are, you all are at this stage now. The younger ones should get benefit of our learning and they should then overcome easily with those challenges. At least they may of course have new challenges. That's okay, uh, those they have to face. Everyone should at least face some challenges to learn things and so on. But we have to, contribute and contribute in the way that we learn, at least in that way, right? And provide the platform to the younger ones so that they can quickly overcome with or get benefited from our learning, and then they can evolve relatively faster as compared to what we did or what you. So this can be one of the. Yes, sir.
My name is Bharat. I'm sorry. They were saying coding challenges. This I think it's a level of how it change from minutes.
my idea is focus on giving out research should precisely from the industry. Being from the industry does not kind of lot of facts. Also, I have some so I can draft it based on what the levels can get routines. So get the or the then these are the things that are all skill set, the hobbies, then from certain channels, then is working the industry of the incentives for industry for the research. One is about the some kind of support for the industry in terms of services for
So thank you. I think what I can say, my knowledge, some of the ministries, particularly science and technology, they already have few schemes where they put in part of the funding and the industry put part of the funding, and this is like a joint proposal or the project between the government agency and the industry. And that way, I think to continue more and more projects. And not only industry, we all understand that someone was saying research proposals or research projects, how much is the probability of success, and industry people think in different way, research we think maybe in different way. So coming together is the collaboration. So the science technology ministry or the government of India as they call, uh, already putting up fund and industry also putting up fund. I think those things should be increased. There are very few at the moment. Still exists, yes, but those I think numbers should increase so that we have more and more industry to find the solution. So, more yeah, but that brings to we already discussed, but if we put forward all these ideas and challenges and all, and have all of them at the single platform, would I think be beneficial for the society, particularly to the youth, and then what are the skills required and where to get those skills through training and mentorship programs and so on.
actually I would like put in a perspective. When very young children were right stars and galaxies that would learn what's out there. But now they can see with the star by the end of 47. Thank you.
Very much. I'm sorry. Give a brief about myself. Based on my experience, I have an exercise and building a platform. So I have to pass. Last company I was working. Right now, I'm a part of INYAS, which is like we have a very innovation impact purpose comes together, like a positive change in the society. Not only this, we are a social impact market company with a mission to change the way business engage with their audience, all while promoting a culture of humanity. It has been lost in the generations for the now everybody has stopped questioning why should we do that. Somebody he or she is doing okay randomly because that was the kind of generation had. सब इंजीनियरिंग कर रहे हैं, चलो उसके बाद क्या करना है MBA कर, बट व्हाई, मेरा अपना क्या स्किल्स है, सॉरी, आई होप एवरीबॉडी इज कंफर्टेबल इन इट, बिकॉज कुछ बातें बताने के लिए अपने लैंग्वेज में कनेक्ट बनता है, लैंग्वेज इज जस्ट meant to be communicated, जो मुझे कहना है मुझे तरीके से communicate. And many of us were talking about there was a lack of skill set and everything. I completely agree. During our generation, during the 90s, I was talking about the 90s, 80s, everyone. So at that point of the time, we used to visualize the things. Whenever our teacher enters the hall, the lecturers, we just think, अच्छा ऐसा होगा, वैसा होगा, TV model ऐसा होगा. But आज ऐसा नहीं है. And actually, the जैसे 80s और 90s में हमारे एजुकेशन इंडस्ट्री का आज भी वैसा ही है. Will anyone will disagree to the point? I don't think so. As we have the kind of technology which can be incorporated to the education industry, to the educational ministry level, which can actually solve the skills and problem. Okay. India has its best brains, that's what I think. Or else we wouldn't have the best scientists like Abdul Kalam sir, and many more. Even Sundar Pichai was from India, southern region. So like that is one of the things. And when I talk about the application, this should be a one-stop solution for all our needs, not only in point of education thing, skills and everything. Also, create something, awareness is must. We need to create awareness. And if I'm not wrong, everything in this generation, the current thing, has to go along with the trend. Like you mentioned that कि Instagram का रील का competition था, Instagram के साथ जाना है. Many of us like we don't have a what I would like to mention is not why. I'm a person whenever we speak like I find data is missing in everywhere. Most of the slides there is not a particular number which we need to look for. And when we're launching something in the market, we need to run a survey. It should be customized for it. Everybody's skill set will not be the same. We need to understand अगर मुझे कुछ launch करना है तो सामने वाले को क्या require है, who's my targeted audience, then only I would be able to solve the right problem. The problem even is lacking, the numbers are lacking here, and when it's about the lack of skills, in number of ways, the first would be the lack of knowledge, how to use the thing, how should I speak, why should I speak, this is why it's missing it out, and while creating the awareness, everybody were talking about the digital technology here, technology is we are forgetting our traditional marketing step. Like in the older days, radio used to be the one way of communication where we used to listen, tune up to the radios. We can tap to the radios to reach out to P2, P level, place. And TV ads. Not only this, these days there are n number of celebrities and influencers marketing are there where you can get them with the find with the purpose, with the cost for them. Not only sorry, Ms. Veda Krishnan has mentioned rightly like ठीक है सब कुछ कर रहे हैं लेकिन ह्यूमैनिटी के साथ करना बहुत जरूरी है. हर चीज की वजह से मैं सिर्फ रेगुलर चीज को फॉलो नहीं कर रही हूँ, मुझे मैं कुछ भी काम कर रही हूँ उससे इम्पैक्ट क्या होगा, आई शुड नो द इम्पैक्ट, आई शुड मेजर इट, आई शुड बी सेल्फलेस. That's how we're going to build a better generation for the 2047. And we can reach out to celebrities and, for example, Sonu Sood talks about the cause. There are n number of people in the market. If at all if we're going to get a reach to the government sector, there will be better branding could be done, and we can reach out to particular like any of the companies, top companies, for example, ITC, Godrej, or any number of you would be interested in the social cause. Thank you, and please do let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Sada. Solve problem or some cases it could be paper that then other cases that way or compute language or discuss. That's allowed as well. Sorry, I just missed out a point.
So, like while solving the problem, we can use the technology with the industry of 4.0. For example, let's say our application is launched. Okay. So we need someone to speak in our language. We can use the AI, which can speak in multilingual languages, and we can have a virtual spokesperson who will pop out of the video the moment the application is being opened up, and he or she can give an entire presentation about what giving a correct direction. Just having an app doesn't give the direction where should I go, what are the things that I need to tap on, etc. And second thing, like having a verbal communication is having a two-way communication is work, but if I have to go through everything segment by segment as a blog or article, that will consume a lot of time. Nobody would be interested. Everything the generation which at the moment requires a very short time. Instant चाहिए मुझे बिल्कुल उसकी तरह. So we need content pieces for that. I would know my product better. A celebrity or the influencer may not be knowing. We have to work with the particular person if you are like doing forward with a celebrity or the influencer marketing. But if not, you might go with the content pieces with your in-house team. Like for example, IIT से product build हो रहा है, तो IIT के students के बारे में उसके जिसने भी इस पे काम particular project पे काम किया उनको knowledge होगा. We can get the content pieces ready from them, and we can run our social like ads on the social media like platform like Instagram or YouTube. अगर किसी को knowledge gain करना है पे जाएंगे. जैसे टाइम पास करना है तो Instagram पे जाएं. अगर Instagram पे भी मुझे 30 सेकंड ही मिलता है किसी ऑडियंस को उपलब्ध करेंगे. 30 सेकंड्स के अंदर मेरे कंटेंट क्या प्रोवाइड करें मुझे मैसेज देना है.
No, but why can't we use platform where you are Bharat, all these contents and the video that I said?
Exactly.
We
That's
are
what
the one to create this content, right?
Right.
We are the celebrity, right? In my opinion, we don't need
Correct. Correct.
You are the celebrity, right? As you rightly said that about your product or your company or your you know better than everyone else.
That's what I mentioned that we need a number of content pieces.
Right, right.
And to create a virality and for awareness in the market, Instagram is not something कि अब हमें लगता होगा कि नहीं reach out करेगा, लेकिन वो C3 में भी चलता है, उससे भी कहीं भी पता नहीं कौन से village में भी चलेगा.
So at least from our side, from this brainstorming session, we'll propose that okay, let's all of us at least 30, 40, we are here. At least half or 20, 30, we can make the content and we can forward to the ministry.
Why half of it? So when now the network of
I mean, maybe some of us may, it depends, right? Even all of us. So we can make the content, then send to the ministry, then let them decide how they want to put on this platform. We want to utilize this platform as a single platform for everything as much as possible. And so this is of course the starting, we have to go a long way. But to start with, I think we are the celebrities. My opinion. We are the heroes. You are the heroes of your startup, your company, right? So that will even if things are coming or the content or the video is coming from the young entrepreneurs, it will have much better impact on the youth as compared to the people who are celebrities and probably seniors, much senior. And in fact, this was the suggestion from Secretary Ministry Youth Affairs that you should have your all participants young entrepreneurs, the young scientists, the youngers, right? So that's what we are here. And the way, this is the example. We talk and learn much better, and we would like to talk to our similar age group. My kid is much, better enjoying with their or his or her, age group. So if the content or the message is going from us, it will better impact or better, affect positive way. That's what. Let's make the content.
Yeah. So like when I was mentioning content pieces, first of all it has to be from our end when we're going out to like the reason why I mentioned celebrity or influencer marketing, that was the trend because people listen to them. That was one of the things if you are looking to scale up or something. Eventually आज नहीं तो after 2 years or 3 years वो करेंगे वो कुछ भी आएगा.
I'm sure people will also listen
That's it.
to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Bharat. I think I am the young representative. I'm 20 currently. I have an organization called BPI's Social Enterprise, working on patient care taboos, mental health, gender equality, climate change, young. And I'm coming directly from Pragati Maidan where we were talking about digital innovation technology. So I'll cover that. I think most of my points have been covered. When we are building a platform like MyBharat, I think it has to talk about sustainable technology, if that makes sense, not just sustainable for the environment, but sustainable in terms of time. Will that technology be relevant after 10 years? Will that technology be relevant after 5 to 10 years? And for example, someone mentioned ChatGPT. Will that be relevant after 5 to 7 years? So we have to work on technologies which will act as a facilitator after 10 years. Sustainable in that aspect. And since I'm also someone who talks about sustainability in terms of SDGs and sustainable development, if you're able to also incorporate those, I think that will also ensure that young people get access to learn more. So focusing on SDGs wherever possible. The second thing would be it has to be accessible. I think someone also mentioned how do we start with. So the accessibility point of it has to come into the picture, and we have to take surveys with people who are not privileged, who are not in the city, who need more resources than those who are in urban areas, so that we can, if we are creating a platform like this, which will be affordable, it has to be. So if it's accessible to everyone, I think that is how it will be the next big platform for young. And that's the aim, right? The third thing would be also has to ensure that it facilitates growth. So everyone who's young, who is either a student, is either an aspiring entrepreneur, or is someone who wants to get into a job. That's the three areas where young people are currently. For students, they might need access in terms of help in courses, in understanding education. If someone is a aspiring entrepreneur, a lot of people mention mentorship. If they can get access to mentoring sessions and become better entrepreneurs and learn how they can start becoming entrepreneurs, I think that can add a lot of value to the economy after the 5 years. And if they're getting into jobs, if they get access to industry mentors who can help them get into the best jobs. So I think those are my and I think also next thematic areas that would come under the mentorship platform. Once you're looking to get the right mentors, that's when I would select the area for me. And I want an industry. So it makes more sense, not using the mentor's time as well as not wasting my own. So yeah, that would be language of when we see of an idea, because they think that we are so intellectual and very difficult to communicate. So I think when we keep listening on book, we have to be very careful that actually, as we say that whatever is a jugaad or whatever it is, has to be set in the form. Only thing is like we need a solution. Whatever it is, this is perfectly. That is that time.
Middle one.
Name is Priyanks. I run an ignorant and passionate about on. So, all of my suggestions taken, and I just of time and most of the inputs that I had were already covered. So, yeah.
More awareness companies building the long methods of that like build more of the windows that more of that is not supposed to
Good evening, everybody. My name is Amit. I'm a software engineer by profession, ex-Wipro and silent. I'm a full-time CEO of a tech-led mental startup company called Listeners, and we are working with. So my one point here, I would like to make is, as per WHO 2019, we are the most depressed country in the world, and as per Lancet, 1 out of 7 Indians, especially youth, are facing some kind of mental health issues. So when we talk about development agenda, we should mainstream mental health care of the youth uh, in our execution plan, so that whatever we do turns out to be more productive and efficient.
So this mental health issue talk about a lot, and even these days in every institute there are counselors and so on. But why this mental health issue is rising very fast? Like I remember in over time, I don't even aware about it, mental health and so on. We all were just still and working hard and doing our job and so on. So why this issue? Any thought? I mean, this is just nothing but
So the socio-economic settings in which who may have been raised is very different from the socio-economic settings as of now. Just a small variable, how much time did you spend on screens compared to how much time is spent on screen today by the how much blue light exposure you had at that point of time and how much you have. That is one thing. Second is the structures that were working in those areas, those days are, I think, dilapidated, and we need to introspect that we need to change those structures. They may not be sufficient at this era of Gen Z.
but that means we are developing technology for something good, right? But and the youth is future of the world, right? So if this is going to be a wrong impact on the youth, uh, how much benefit of as a whole of this technology development, and in which direction we are going, and who are the responsible? We are the responsible one, right? And the time I was growing up, or we were, some of us were growing up, our parents or that time, those were the responsible. Now we are the responsible. Yeah, are we going in right direction? We also have
Just 30 seconds more. It reminds me of a theory from Hawker, and he says he gives a theory of cultural lag. When something new, anything comes in, there is a lag uh, of time which a society takes to accommodate that. So when the lag increases, the chaos increases, and I think due to the very expedited advancements in technology, the cultural lag is too much. So I think we need to cater to that.
One point I would like to add here.
let's
See, the problem was earlier also. See, the problem was earlier also. It's just like a taboo in society. People don't want to. If I just give an example, almost right now also, if I ask my brother and my siblings to go for a mental therapy, they say नहीं मैं पागल हूँ. So that is the kind of thing. तो पहले चीजें होती थी, चीजें छुपाई जाती थी, दबाई जाती थी. Nowadays, if youth are going with something, they are coming and speaking up about that. Yes, the technology advancement and all these things are also impacting them, which they are not realizing it. So somehow, एक वो कहते हैं ना, एक बबल लोगों को दिखाया जाता है एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के बारे में, करियर के बारे में, मनी के बारे में. वो लोग सिर्फ उसको देखते हैं. अब जब वो अचीव नहीं हो पाता है, क्या होता है, वो बबल फूट जाता है. एंड व्हेन इट ब्रेक्स अप, the whole thing crashes. So that's also one of the challenges.
so
So I would like one experience. Like past my bike was the problem that when I patient comes to 20 years back, you were not able to compare that Instagram on happy who is going to say America, who is studying in the IIT. But today on Instagram, I can see somebody is getting say 1 lakh votes, getting a 25,000 shoe. So that comparison between me on a daily basis.
this awareness is good or not?
That depends on the observation. So somebody is observing and comparing himself with the other on the positive and negative side. That is the how many likes on my views are then also very low.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Subhadesh Kumar. I'm founder at Window One. So we have worked with holistic. So I have suggestions to categorize in the three broader heads. Won't take much of the time. So first on the platform side. So platform need to be intuitively smart to personalize what to suggest. So I propose a interest-based tribes. So see, building the numbers is not a challenge. So you make a community, you have the numbers, but that doesn't count. It is important whether they are engaged or not. So we need to build a smaller cohorts where the people say people working in say health or people working in renewable health, people working in environment, people working in healthcare can come together and collaborate. Second, we need to go for physical approach, both physical and digital. Either of them has to be taken together. The reason is that we are one of the countries in the world which has the highest rate of dropouts of women from the workforce. They are skilled, talented, but untapped. So this platform, Mera Yuva Bharat, can inculcate a structure in how we can use these skilled resources to our workforce. And it's a estimate by many global agencies. If we are able to tap this untapped resources which follow from our system, we will be able to add at least $1 trillion to our own economy. Second, the platforms need to have both ODS on-demand learnings in vernacular language as advised by Paul. As many languages support, that's better. And also the physical workshops, because physical workshops scalability issue. We can go for train the trainers or the program. So this is about the platform and it has to be one space solution which has collaboration, which has courses, which has mentorings, and virtually a kind of like a matchmaking for the persons. They can matchmake with their collaborators on the project or a peer. Also to say for example to other mentors from the industry. Second, which was another point over there, we have to incentivize that. Youth should feel I have something. So they can be given a credit points, which can be used in academia or we can be used to prioritize certain kind of services. So this is our platform. Now coming to outreach. Whatever the product you build, you need to go for the outreach. And here I would quote an example from Ministry of Affairs itself. They have a movement known as Fit India movement. So where what they have done, they have categorized like Fit India icons, champions, and other kind of things. So similar structure can be implemented over here, and we can have people from all the spectrum of society, from entrepreneurs, from teachers, and all to come as icons of the champions and be part of the volunteers. And as Dr. Vivek suggested, Professor C.S. Sarma sir suggested, you will have to build the ambassadors at school levels. So there's a concept known as influential leaders. The leadership has actually changed and evolved, and the younger generation need influential leaders. You will have to create or curate a peer kind of leadership from them itself. So, like ambassadors at a school level or institute level, and you will have to create a healthy competitive environment. So, an outreach environment where we create say champions from it, who are strong in social as well as the people whom they can feel relatable. If I'm seeing someone from my city or my school doing well, I will feel more motivated to do well. Last but not least, I will take another 50 seconds. Any platform needs the money. I do understand that government has the money to pay, but it should not be a burden to the exchequer. If it becomes a burden to the exchequer, then obviously when the government changes, it's inevitable. The programs get derailed. So this is where very very important. We need to curate this program to make sure that our unit economics are met. All of us are entrepreneurs. We will agree. Unit economics is very important. So I have two things over here. The first thing is that government can categorize and mobilize the CSR funds. So they will have to incentivize the corporates to put up their CSR funds to this corpus so that this money can, because every company has a CSR that is mandated by the Company Act, and that can be pulled on to revenue. Second thing is that once you have the data of the user base, this complete program Mera Yuva Bharat can actually transform itself as a industry voice body. With any company go to consumer research, and when you go to the consumer research, you have paying to company X. Why not this platform Mera Yuva Bharat works as a single window for corporate? You want to do a user research, you want to understand the people, you come to us. We have the demographic, we have the youth access, and we give you that information, and that can be another sort of revenue model. And because CSR also were dependently on the companies. But this also from the basic itself, we need to make sure that this program has its own revenue earning model. Until or unless you have your revenue coming in for a program for an autonomous body, it becomes tough to execute your ideas. So in the short time, so thank you so much for listening out to me. Happy to share more insights whenever. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think very important.
That was a very unique insight. It's the third time I've heard it in the workshops. to have some kind of monetization model. Yeah, very interesting.
Thank you. So without monetization, any program might not be succeed, and this is something which has happened. For all the programs, there may be a priority in the beginning, but so we are not looking at a sprint. We are looking at a marathon. We have to build a country in 25 years. We will have to make sure that we have that unit economics in place, and so that it becomes a say. And most important thing is every one of the stakeholders should feel that they have certain kind of incentives. Because, and sorry to say, but the only incentive which works in India is the financial business. Whether it's a corporate or individuals, will have to think out the way how we can do that. So finances doesn't always mean the money. There are many non-monetary ways which can be included to incentivize that. That one gentleman mentioned about like if the corporates come to the part of it, they can incentivize the tax rates or accessibility on that. It could be for the individuals as well. You have to make them. If I spend my time, I am going to stand up from it now because everyone wants to stand out from the gap different and the better, and we will have to use that philosophy of human psychology how we can make them stand out.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm giving kind of after genetic design. Here work with the Walmart. So first thing before we are getting capital file, so I will let you know the AI is 85 billion job worldwide, the automation. So the 85 billion jobs are in let's say, national. But another side, millions of jobs will pay the value. Just like I give an example, I'm running by myself, I'm not looking inside it. I'm looking the prompt. Prompt engine can give instruction, okay, and will write. Same thing we have to look where we can get the output. Just like we are getting straight from with well. Okay, this platform we have to learning and to as well as upskill you can make a move. Just like when I whenever we then started going to school, right? We'll ask, क्या बनोगे? People saying I'm become engineer, doctor. तो हमें बोलना चाहिए now become ऐसे job that is boss. So first we have to change that mindset. As well we are seeing say I have 95% company have rejected. The reason is that or she does not have the rights. Okay? For example, H&M has a website have worked with. But the problem is happening with problem with students, they know only the HTML, yeah. But we are looking at the Next.js. So with this platform, if any organization have a this technology, they can update. And other side, okay, so what happens if, for example, my organization is company that I'm going to platform, I will say I'm looking I can provide a trade. So the platform gives me a some gamification, some points. And I can click on that and I can share my for my Instagram. And might be to motivate other people also. Okay? They will be come. Because if you think about practically I'm talking about cannot replace or the right now youth they are spending more than 3 hours on this. Okay. So if you think you have to take from this platform very very have to play some strategy in that way we have to adopt and it will move and they understand where we have to as well as we have to change the mindset of the parents are. Parents should not be forced that okay why you are getting percentage why you are not. We have to change that mindset of the parent. So my in my point of view, have to this platform we are getting not similar type existing website or we have to create some different. If feed the data, any something is my this my vision and expertise or my interest of these subjects. Immediately AI will bring us some jobs. Will say or maybe can provide learn this get an opportunity. Matters the person can apply. Okay. So that we are saying we have to can AI this platform like to make a success of that important.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shubham Swami, and I run a first and as a so by profession I am a banker. I have given that taxes. So when I started about around say 1 year back, I had to then started. So the problem is when we start with a win, but the sustainability depends on the knowledge. Whenever I have any kind of problem related to any of the department of my business, generally what I do that I go to YouTube, I try to find out the video. The problem is like whenever I start scrolling the majority of the time, like each and every same insight. So the problem is after giving say 1 hour, I am stuck with the same program and the basic knowledge which I had earlier. That same I am continuing right now when from R to the any of the project that will be used for it. So in my opinion, I have segregated some of the department or maybe you can segment the business, the entrepreneur. So it may be segregated like technical, financial, sales and marketing, and the behavioral. In the technical, we can segregate somewhere, you can say related to maybe somebody doing a business of their own, somebody they are doing into say manufacturing of the clothing, somebody in the segment. So each and every business has some kind of technical program. So everyone, whoever the entrepreneur in a particular segment can create some content specific to that program. I can create a content of the specifically for the innovative segment. Somebody can create for the US market. So that particular content can be segregated within the platform. If suppose we are targeting complete nation, say approximately 50% of the population is going on this platform. So definitely each and every person will not keep investing the same. So we have to, whenever somebody is entering into the platform, there should be a direction. So depending on the individual's expertise, there has to be a content as per that. So according next segment, I had suggested like finance. So in finance, there may be the accounting, there may be the bank. Suppose if I am a bank, I have given a subscription related to the different company. So I can derive some of the aspects which are really helpful to develop a business. So as for the banking, maybe the accounting, next as I written as the sales and marketing. So doing any business is just a operational thing unless and until it has to be pitched into the market as per the sales and marketing. So depending on all these segments, the content can be created, can be segregated in a direction. So that may be helpful for the person whoever is coming on the platform. That's what it means.
Good evening, everyone. So myself, Dr. So I want to say very basic points here. Actually, basically, I'm from the rural area. So my important point is actually I will be repeating, but I would like to say. So as an individual, as Professor Bharat said, here is having like 65% of English to fill. So my point concern is that how many of the youth know this platform is there in the government. So that in that aspect, actually, one should I would respect the government publish or explore these platform to the more students. More students are starting from IIT or university or colleges, then school. So the main ultimate aim is to coordinate the use of this from this platform. So at the end, actually, saying when the student or other individual will think about this platform, then they have more responsibility in their life. When their ultimate aim is to gain money. Money is the main problem, or money is the main factor which is inside the human life nowadays. So what I am saying actually, from this mission like Mera Yuva Bharat, so we should emphasize the opportunities. We should give them, should emphasize the opportunities from this platform in the front, so that who are the people are the young people will come to know about this program and they will get curious to see these things or apply for this. As an individual, my perception. The second perception I learned from the meeting actually communication gap. So communication gap is another most of the important problem. So in that effort, what I would suggest or I would add one point here is that so starting from the south or north all over the India, we should have the different languages for that actually for the initial period, we should strengthen the state level units like this platform. Like although we have a different kind of authorities from the various institutes from the north, so I'm stressing here that we should increase the we should strengthen the state units so that we can conduct kind of our own language meetings for the initial training the students or grab the student attention so that once we get the attention, then the next step would be talking about the startup and company development. So first we should drag the youth attention and the student attention, even not from the school level, because they don't think about these things. Maybe most of the students will think about from the PG or PG. There only they think about their life and the growth, career growth. So when they think about the career growth, then obviously, thank you for the opportunity.
Hi everyone, my name is Manu and we run a startup by the name of which works for the holistic growth of women. I had done my double masters after working so many years for another challenge and went for my second masters from abroad. And I can say from my experience, I can be right or wrong. सबसे पहली चीज है ब्रांड अवेयरनेस. अगर हमें ब्रांड अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करना है तो सबसे प्रॉब्लम क्या है इंडिया में अगर कोई प्राइवेट इंस्टीट्यूट है कोई प्राइवेट रन प्रोग्राम्स रन कर रहे हैं उसके बारे में स्टूडेंट्स को पता इवन इधर रूरल एरिया इवन टियर 2 सिटीज बट गवर्नमेंट प्रोग्राम्स के बारे में नहीं पता होता है. तो उसकी चैलेंजेस है ऑफकोर्स वो ब्रांड अवेयरनेस वहां तक नहीं पहुंच पाती है. सेकंड चैलेंज उसका ये भी है कि पीपल थिंक कि ये गवर्नमेंट रिलेटेड है सो इट विल नॉट बी एज गुड एज द प्राइवेट पीपल आर डूइंग. So that is also kind of a mindset. So how now to break these kind of two things which is really required from this thing, how to do the proper brand awareness of about this platform, and also if we are able to design this kind of a programs by getting the right mentors on this thing, it will help to create that kind of a trust also on this. Second thing, हम mentorship की बात कर रहे हैं पर बहुत सारे बच्चों को यही नहीं पता वो करना क्या चाहते हैं. वो सब दौड़ रहे हैं एक रेस में आज हमें चैट जीपीटी सीखना है आज AI सीखना है आज ये सीखना है बट उन्हें यही नहीं पता क्या करना है. Either or through this platform by putting a self-assessment tool where they come to know through those questions वो करना क्या चाहते हैं आने वाले टाइम पे या वो स्कूल टाइम पे वो डाल दिया जाए वो उस तरीके की चीजें टीचर्स के थ्रू कि व्हाट दे वांट टू डू. और थर्ड थिंग इफ नॉट थ्रू दिस थिंग जो मेंटर्स होंगे they should maybe be having a knowledge how it maybe can be done so they can know their interest. तो प्रॉब्लम क्या है which I realized during my second masters हम लोग पढ़ना सीखते हम करते हैं बट हमें लगता है अगर हम गिरेंगे कोई ना कोई हमें हेल्प करे. When I reached there, when I did a lot of research, there was no one to guide much. The teacher used to guide this much, very little. तो उससे मुझे चीज रियलाइज हुई कि अगर उस प्लेटफॉर्म पे मोर रियल लाइफ नीड्स की स्टडी से चैलेंजेस दिए जाएंगे स्टूडेंट्स को which can help them to resolve them and can know how these problems can be resolved. And mentors should be there to guide them, but they should not handhold them tightly because अगर वो होगा तो then they know कि okay somebody is there for me. And yes, this platform is for the students, but something has to be created to attract the mentors also. Because अगर वो attraction हम लोग ने mentors को नहीं किया, so good mentors will not be able to come on the platform. So that has to be done something for them also. And third thing, of course, we are talking about the mentoring and everything. I think more than a mentoring, there should be a coaching. Why I'm saying the coaching? Mentoring is all about guiding a person. But after reaching a stage in the career, lot of times you have to resolve the queries, the business problem, business solutions, and maybe the professional, personal challenges, work-life balance. ये सब बाकी चीजें हमें realize होती हैं जब हम एक career stage में पहुंच जाते हैं. But अगर students को पहले ही से ही questions put up करके इतना उनके अंदर एक self introspection डाल दिया जाए कि they start evaluating from themselves. Okay, fine, this is something I want to do. This is something I want to resolve in life. So that will help them from the start. That's what I think.
So I think one of the main points was to give incentive to vendors to next. Competition चल रहा है but she's not interested in that so that's okay.
Hello, good evening everyone. Myself Ananya Banerjee. I am currently working with INYAS as project assistant under the guidance of Professor Rajendra Singh Dhaka. And after listening to all the conversation that has happened around here, there is one suggestion that I will provide to Shri Raghben Singh ji. It is that in this discussion, what I have found as a concluding statement is that there is a gap between students and the young group that we are targeting in terms of awareness. For example, the Tier 1 cities, the students from the Tier 1 cities, they are quite well aware of the programs run by the government and the private institutions. But the main problem, because I also come from a Tier 2 city, so I can say that when I was in my schooling days, when I was in my graduation days, I didn't know much about the programs that were run by the government. So what we can do, according to my knowledge, the solution from my end would be government and this Yuva Bharat platform can give this certain idea of making campus ambassadors. Students from different colleges, from different universities can be made campus ambassador so that they can reach to Tier 2 and Tier 3 city students, and then they can spread the awareness among the Tier 2, Tier 3 city students. And who will guide the Tier 1 city students being the campus ambassadors, the professors, the institution heads, the entrepreneurs. So in this way, the hierarchy would not be vertical, but it would be more horizontal and in a parallel form. That is, the knowledge is transferring from professors, mentors to the students who wish to join as campus ambassadors in My Bharat program, and then that would lead to awareness Tier 3 city students. So I think this is an approach that we can take into consideration. Second, I think Shrikant sir mentioned the useful impact of AI. I think My Yuva Bharat platform can also make distinguished portals based on skill set of certain individual. For example, if a child is, interested in doing data analysis, then he or she can opt for courses that are there for data analysis, for AI. Then, as Chandra sir also mentioned regarding the new trends of communication, that is Reels, Instagram, Facebook. So we have to make social media as a tool, and then we can target the Tier 1 city students, and the Tier 1 city students can then target the Tier 2 and Tier 3 city students. So I think in this way we can minimize the gap. But this is all about mentality. We need to change our mentality, that we are not job seekers, but we are job givers now. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Ananya.
Mostly I will be reading from it. Last month, I work in advertising. As I said, mostly mentoring, all that, to me, in concern is, I would probably give an example, naming a political party, what I'm doing. That happened. Like somebody, uh, so we don't have a program, if let's say my son, or, my sister, who let's say was 16, I don't know if there is a better. I would, there are career counselors, course, be a broad program. I'll go back to BJP, I'm like, here. They have a program called Shakha in the parks. When they promote from a grassroots level, go to a Shakha, they can be shorts and all, they do a park activity and all, that is time for that. So they have a grassroots level program how to go from outwards to inwards. So this is probably I don't go into this. So they have a mohalla level, state level. So that is something on this side. We really have. Of course, CSR funding. CSR also operate on campus. Thus, the main skeleton would be the national campaign. Ready here, money. How do you connect the whole stream? It should the Fit India campaign. Also, what connects these type of platforms is not a surrogate advertising, but a parallel advertising. You can always have a collaboration. Since sports is involved in this area. a sports probably it is not getting much of that can it can have a collab so that corporate. Also the last point is by doing this Yuva my we see like I'm a dying breed of it. I'm sure the few of you are already that's everybody takes. The point is, if somebody is from Bihar, why is he coming here? If this program is the guy is like, they will get a job really well. You don't need to come here to get work project. They're happy working for a startup. They in their own home and something like that, so that that's how the problem is solved at a stage rather than coming back to it.
Thank you very much. Now there is one question from YouTube that I want to take. I request Sandra take this. The gentleman says that how NEP 2020 will enhance youth skills in different fields. I think it is very well covered already. But still, thanks.
I think the major thing talk about the national policy. Some of the things which we have discussed that are covered in the NEP. For example, as I was mentioning that higher education and the local language. That is one of the features of the NEP. Second is the academic flexibility the NEP is talking about that is not heard in our system. And I'm glad to share that many of the higher institutes in IITs, they are now coming forward to adopt the NEP sense that we are even now talking about multiple exit and multiple system where the BTech students right in the second third year, if they want, we are talking about the skill. So it's not about the degree based education forward and any blocks about it. It's more about the skill based. Suppose after second year of BTech, student feels that I am having kind of skills to survive in this world. Why do I need to waste my time for further BTech for the sake of it? That NEP is talking about and that students are not allowing. So I think we are on the right track, and I think very timely intervention in terms of education policy, and more and more we will see the implementation of it and the advantage of it.
Yeah, I think I would also like to mention directions that particularly in IITs, I think they are already following many guidelines which are there in many. For example, the experimental skills, the hands-on skills, the project-based learning. That's what I want to highlight here. About this multiple exits and all, my own opinion, we have to be careful. This is what my personal opinion. That maybe after 2 years, I am not mature enough to decide that this is the right time for me to exit. I will decide exit. System is allowing me to exit. I will exit and go. But then maybe after a year, I will realize, oh, right decision. I was a bit young at that time, not mature. So those type of things, of course, we then
NEP allows you to come back.
right. Yes, yes. So that's the important point for NEP. I would now request participants online if they want to have any points, recommendations. Then finally, I will ask Raghavendra to say a few words. So other participants who are online, if they want to say, we are already a bit late. We want to wind up next time.
Right. So can you repeat your question again? Because as the voice is not always the best.
So we are now concluding. So if you want to say a few words in the end, that's all.
So I do want to say that the people who are closer to where Shri Dhaka is sitting, I could hear them well. The people who are further away, somehow they were less on the voice side on my end. So, but let me give you a brief overview of how we are launching so that you have your expectations set for the next few days and how we plan to develop it. So My Yuva Bharat will have two options. One will be experiential learning programs and one will be events. So experiential learning programs is simply organizations will be hosting experiential learnings and students who are within 30 kilometers of range for certain areas and a larger range maybe in future for other areas will be able to attend it, participate in it physically, go to these organizations or employers, see what they work. The idea is very simple, that we want these students who are currently in their graduation, because right now the qualification is that the student should be an undergraduate. It is not open to 10th and 12th right now as of today. But as we expand, once we understand the nuances of the responses better, once we understand how the market is responding, what are the further locks required, what are the additional features required, we do have plans to open it up to 10th and 12th and then to postgraduate and even non-students or maybe working professionals. But those are very large topics to discuss, not my prerogative to do so. Second is events. A National Youth Festival is being conducted, and that will be happening on My Bharat as well. So the idea is that on the experiential learning, the students come and learn and absorb these knowledge, and on the other end, they would display their knowledge or showcase their knowledge. These events not just have to be cultural events, but we envision it such that coding marathons or quizzes or competitions or hackathons or math quizzes, anything kind of events can happen. So the entire Kirkpatrick model, I will say, since this is a institution, you learn and then you display a result. So I think this is it for now. Yes, we are targeting only undergraduate, but everything else will be open very soon. I am sure that once this is done, we would like to have a full feedback. Please do let us know your questions, your answers, your suggestions in writing. And we will figure out some way through the organizers here to reach out with a message saying that please join the portal. You can log in, create accounts, get working on it. And please remember, today the Honorable Secretary was in an event, and she said, despite this being a government program, and it's been mentioned by someone here as well, the scaling is always a challenging thing for anyone, regardless be the largest venture capitalist backed company or whether it's a government program. So once it starts, I would love you to be giving more constructive feedbacks, which we will incorporate. We have sprint planning, we have agile planning. We'd like to incorporate all of these and slowly develop this into a much larger base. Thank you so much for taking your time, for giving such feedbacks and having such great discussions at 6 p.m. on a Saturday night. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Raghvendra. Thank you. I would now request Srikanth say.
I think this was a great discussion. We covered so many topics, at the back end of the day, I don't want to repeat it. But the range of topics that we were covered and ideas, although as Raghvendra said, we would start only with things, experiential learning and events. But the ideas that you have today, Raghvendra, are surely going to help you as an input for the future framework. The only thought I would leave with you is going back to your original question. I think looking at the success of UPI in India and how it has led to digital payments, I think open architecture that allowed private parties to come, whether you're a fintech company or bank, that led to the boom. So similarly, if this platform can be looked, you imagine this platform to be a combination of saying, okay, experiential learning, events, content management system, learning management system, video conferencing. If you provide that basic infrastructure, then you can rest assured that entrepreneurs across India will unleash their creative genius to create all kinds of applications. And it's much better to let entrepreneurial genius take it to the last mile rather than the government trying to control it centrally. Actually, that's the only
Exactly. So that's the beauty of an aggregator platform, and I do have some relations, ship with from a startup background. So I'll say this: the beauty of a startup mindset within a government ecosystem is amazing. You can create a beautiful aggregator platform and have the most constructive feedbacks come in, and the government always has that advantage, right? Because it can do that social good without always looking at the capital, achievements, and that gives you the advantage, which sometimes gets based by even the largest massive online courses or other platforms. I'm not saying that they're good, not good enough, but yes, that is correct. I think the students and the entrepreneurs and the nonprofits, those who are actually the stakeholders, they are the actual clients. Their feedback should be bringing this portal to the next levels always. Yeah. So yeah, please share all the feedbacks. Push us to it.
Thank you, Raghavendra. Thank you, Srikanth. So I think now this is the time to wind up. On behalf of organizing institute team, I would really thank all of you for spending your time of the weekend for all these inputs. I don't want to repeat, but we have listed all the points, important ones. And I think in one line, I would say that if we all can collaborate, come together, we can, I think, have a real project for you. With this, I would stop, and uh, we will, of course, are connected. We'll share the write up, whatever we are going to get with all of you. You can, of course, if we miss out something, then but edit, say, can modify, then finally. Yes. Thank you, Raghavendra ji, for joining us. And finally, I thank Ministry of Youth Affairs for giving us this opportunity to contribute. And I'm sure all of us are really enthusiastic, has this energy and courage to contribute. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Raj.
End of this.